last session.
Ismark and Shay had a
Interesting
interrogation, and it was awesome because Foxglove turned out to be both cringe and threatening.
Honestly, Shay prefers him in villain mode. She very much prefers him in villain mode, honestly.
That's his secret. He's always in villain mode.
They did that. They got information before that. Sola did her thing that she's been trying to do for like 2 months now.
True.
Yeah.
Sola hacked into a bird to get a spell, obviously.
Met a cat. Met a Sibyl. Wild Sibyl just chilling in the area with the cat.
Speaking of a wild Sibyl, Matt just showed up in my room completely unannounced to hand me chips.
I thought you were going to say completely naked.
Yes, we did have Sibyl on screen.
Shit.
Fully clothed, though.
That wasn't established.
Just gonna throw the dice on the shelf. It's fine.
And there was some interesting conversation there, and some information gathered from Broddert.
You remembered his name?
Yeah, one time.
Let's go.
And we were gonna shift focus again, because Shay was waylaid by Ismark to go do this interrogation. And I believe Augustiana was supposed to be talking to Mez. And Kokoro's got some shit going on.
A Gussie.
Don't say that again. No.
Ismark, you are married.
Ismark didn't say it.
Ever since Ismark wasn't allowed to go on Pornhub.
He's changed.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So, it's a lovely day in Sandpoint. I mean, it's a nice day weather-wise, but it is pretty quiet, as has been mentioned a few times. The recent troubles have left a mark on people, and there aren't as many people as you'd expect out on the streets today. Now, Augustiana, whether you count that as a boon or a bane is up to you, but it's certainly a change. Not that there are tons of people in Alkenstar, but there's always something going on. The grinding of the machinery, or distant explosions as this or that is being tested, the occasional blare of a siren when one of your neighboring nations is unleashing war upon the other, and all of you have to run for cover. It's a stark change from Sandpoint, even though Sandpoint is almost exactly as you remember it from the day you left. Not very much has changed here, with the exception, of course, of a couple of new arrivals in the shape of Ismark and Sola. The faces that you see are, by and large, the faces that you've known. And therefore, it's a very simple matter for you to find your way over to the Red Dog Smithy, where, Das Corvet works, and where Mez is interning. Can you tell us a bit about what time you head over and how Augustiana is feeling right now?
Well, I imagine she would have headed over the night before, but if she stayed at the inn, then she would have headed over first thing in the morning?
Oh, if you want this to have been the previous night, we can also do that.
Yeah, I kind of see her just showing up in the middle of the night.
Somebody hit the blue shift on the camera. Thank you, Joe. So,
yeah, you know it.
After speaking with everybody else and parting ways with the new companions, it's even quieter at night, as a matter of fact. And there's a dreadful stillness as the town seems to be holding its breath for the coming morning that everyone else is experiencing. But for you, it's the night before. You make your way over to the smithy, where it is very late.
Is there like a door?
Of course, there's a door.
She'll knock.
It is very much locked. You knock, and you wait. And you knock, and you wait. And this proceeds for the better part of 15 minutes before you realize that Doss goes to bed very early. And it's currently about 1 in the morning with all of the excitement from earlier in the day. If you want to get in there, you're either going to have to sneak in or make some noise.
Do you want me to
Is
play
there-
Black Eyed Peas?
I don't know. Can she see like an open window or something?
Sure. I don't think Doss would keep any of the ground level windows open. He seems far too paranoid for that. But, Iris, let me ask you something. Does Mez keep her window on the second floor closed?
What's the season now?
Autumn.
She probably has it open. Likes the cool air kind of thing. Especially if it's, if the day has been particularly hot earlier.
It has been unseasonably hot in Sandpoint. So, Augustiana, as you look up, you do see a single window that is half open.
Would there happen to be like a trellis underneath it?
Trellis would implies to me some sort of gardening. Doss is not a gardener. However, I would imagine there's some sort of scaffolding.
Okay.
Especially for like a little workshop outside.
If I may, if she's been knocking for 15 minutes, I mean, Mez might just come down and be like, what's going on? What's important? Must be important, right?
Sure, if you think Mez would have heard that if she's still up.
Let me roll. Yeah, she was still up. She was trying to rest, but it seemed to be eluding her a bit.
I wonder why.
Crazy, couldn't tell you. So yeah, like I can imagine after the knocking has gone on for a while, she would kind of come down in her obvious night attire kind of thing, and kind of peek the door open. Whoever's out there, we're closed right now.
Ms. Min, is that you?
Yes.
Is the door like open, cracked?
It's kind of cracked, like open a couple inches. No, she'd open it a decent bit, I think, and is kind of looking through the door. Because I don't think she uses the little slidey thing, that Doss would use.
Is she standing behind the door or like in the open space?
Behind the door. She looks very tired, and her eyes look really swollen.
Another thing for you, Augustiana, is even though this is Mesmin, you would recognize her face pretty much anywhere. You guys were such close friends. She does have a very pronounced scar on half of her face, which is half hidden by her hair right now, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Her hair is completely down in the little ponytails, and more so over her face and shoulder kind of thing. But she doesn't have her goggles on right now.
I guess Tiana's gonna step forward and try to like, not like aggressively, but push her way inside.
Is there some sort of emergency? And she kind of backs up a bit, not really wanting to get touched. But
Well,
go ahead.
I suppose it's an emergency.
Well, it can't wait till morning.
At this point, Augustiana looks a little sad that she hasn't been recognized yet. Do you know who I am?
Mez looks at her up and down. I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't.
She won't
Ma'am.
respond, but she'll start rummaging through her pockets until she finds a handmade bracelet and pull it out.
Mez looks at it and instantly recognizes it. August, is that you?
It's Augustiana now. But yes.
What are you doing here? Why are you here so late? When did you get in?
DM, when would she have arrived? Like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, like 20 minutes ago. You had to. The person that you were working with who got you here had to do it under cover of darkness so as not to get spotted.
I just arrived. But I'm here for you.
Well, come in. You look really cold.
Oh, it's not that bad out. With her, like, sheer shawl.
She'd kind of usher her in, give her space so she can full on come into the shop.
But how have you been? Good?
Well, same old, same old.
And you're still working here?
Yeah.
She's clearly avoiding the topic.
But you said there was some sort of emergency?
Yes. So the reason that I've come back to our quaint little town, there are some people coming, not after you, but to speak with you in a maybe not kind way.
What? Wait, let me just... Here. She kind of moves, I don't know, maybe to like the back room kind of thing to sit down, to get Augustiana a chair.
Yeah, you can go into the back room where the forge now lays dormant, and wall upon wall of swords, hoes, scythes, horseshoes, and the likes around you.
Thank you. It's been a very long trip. But so I've been in Alkenstar for many years now, and recently I overheard that There was an unlicensed shooting here in Sandpoint, and I knew it had to be you.
Wait, unlicensed? What? I've never heard that before.
Surprise! Yeah, and they're expensive, so we may need to figure out a plan for that. But yeah, so the deputies are on their way. And I'm here.
Oh, although the circumstances are kind of strange, I am happy to see you again. But, maybe we can just talk to them and they'll hear me.
Uh, they're not very good at listening. When they show up like this, it's they talk, you listen.
But why? Like, it's not like I'm using any of their things. I made this as mine.
They don't see it that way.
This gotta be some sort of misunderstanding.
They will think that you're the one that is misunderstood.
Well, how much is the licenses? It can't be that bad. Maybe if I save up a little bit here and there.
DM, it's 5,000.
Smooth 5K.
Yeah, it's 5,000 gold.
Mez sits down.
Mesmeen. To put that in perspective, on a very good day, the shop will make like 10 gold. On a very, very good day. Most days, it's closer to like 3.
Yeah, Mez sits down.
Cassiano will nod. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why does it even matter? I'm nowhere near Alkenstar.
That's true.
How'd they even hear?
So,
they have. Oh, go ahead.
Augustiana, for some additional context here, the reason that it matters is because Alkenstar maintains a monopoly on firearms, and they are very eager to protect that monopoly. So if somebody were to, say, start creating their own weapons, that would be a problem because, you see, the gunworks in Alkenstar, extremely expansive. You've walked the halls many a time before. 6 to 7 floors. All of the best artisans from all over Galarian, not just the Inner Sea region. That gunworks makes 5 guns a year. And by keeping the supply so low, they're able to extract an exorbitant price for them. So, for them to allow someone else to just make guns willy-nilly for people would really cut into their profits.
She will relay all that, and then, which is why the license is so expensive.
What even gives them the right?
Money, power, guns.
This looks a little hopeless. She looks really sad. It's like, well, today's quite the day then, isn't it?
But that's why I'm here. I should have at least a week, maybe a little less, before they arrive.
I mean, I guess, but kind of bound to find me.
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
Well, we have time to figure out a plan. We could make you disappear.
No, I don't want to disappear. I don't want to go on the run or something. I like it here.
We could come up with 5 Gs.
That's a joke, right?
Mostly.
Well, it is kind of late. And I don't want to bother Shay, but maybe she could think of something too. Put our heads together.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a perception check as you say that, Mesmine? Hello?
I heard you. I'm opening my sheet.
Ah.
Perception.
Man, the Thieves are just
Goddamn.
cracked when it comes to perception. What does being part infernal give you guys like superior senses or something?
I think it's just growing up with all the very subtle racism my entire life.
Hyper aware.
Yeah.
Now, Mez, the smithy is a very loud place when you're working, from the roar of the bellows to the crackle of the flames to the steady sound of Doss's hammer working whatever it is that he's been trying to complete all day. At night, the opposite is true. It's dead quiet here most of the time. You're not in a particularly busy section of town. Most you really hear is a couple of the dock workers coming this way or that over the bridge. But that means that you can hear all the more clearly the heavy footsteps of Doss as he starts heading downstairs from up above you.
Run.
Oh, I guess we are being a bit loud, huh? Maybe we should discuss this more in the morning. I think I woke up the boss.
Yes, I can return in the morning.
Yeah, and we'll go see Shay. I mean, I bet she'll be happy to see you.
Well, I did run into her already. But yes, that sounds like a great plan.
As you are settling this and a car drives by me. God fucking damn it. As you are settling this, Doss comes downstairs. And now, Doss is not a very nice person. At the best of times, he's just exasperated and really hates the way that people just make everything so much more complicated than it needs to be. He doesn't like being bothered. He especially doesn't like being bothered at 1:30 in the morning when he has to be up at about 5. And he especially doesn't like feeling as if someone is bothering Mesmine. So, as he comes downstairs, Cody, may I have your permission to be incredibly rude to you?
Yes.
Okay. So, Doss comes downstairs, shirtless, with his gleaming longsword in hand. Just this middle-aged, calloused pile of muscle of a man. His eyes fix on Augustiana, He sort of sneers, and he points with the tip of his sword to the door. Whorehouse is the other way.
Whew.
Oh, silly me. I guess I got lost.
He then looks over to Mesmine. She bothering you?
No. No. Sorry, boss. I didn't mean to wake you up. You remember August, yeah?
He looks to Augustiana, looks back to Mesmine. Yeah?
Small smile. Giving
He-
a point.
He looks to Augustiana, and there's just a lack of understanding. Are you his sister or something?
Giggles. I'll be going now. Mez, I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, at decent hours.
Kid, what's the light like right now? The situation with lighting?
It's fairly. I mean, I would guess it's Mez. Would you have
There's a
turned on?
candle.
All right,
There's a
she's
candle,
being caring for her human companions.
Candlelight. She's gonna roll her eyes.
Das will stand right there on the stairs, staring you down until you leave.
She's on her way out the door.
Das then looks over to Mesmine, sniffs. You sure you're okay?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's better to get some bad news tonight than tomorrow, right? Ruin the day.
Bad news?
Yeah. Apparently some people from Alkenstar are being sent after me.
He takes another breath, then spits. Those bastards mean to cause any trouble in town, they'll have to get through me.
You don't need trouble yourself, boss. I think if I can just maybe talk
Haven't
to
you
them.
been through enough, Mesmine?
She doesn't really comment on that.
He frowns at you, not the frown of being upset or anything like that, but more trying to figure out if he's spoken too hastily and how he might address you. At length, he walks over and places a cautious hand, very slowly so that you're aware of what he's doing, on your head. Pat. Takes a deep breath. You need to try looking out for yourself every once in a while.
Maybe, but I just worry about everyone, that's all.
Bending yourself out of shape for them. It's good to be helpful, but if you strike the same piece too many times, it's gonna shatter. Don't make yourself brittle.
Right. Thanks. Thanks, boss. She puts an arm around him in like a half hug.
Das does not return your hug. He's not a very huggy guy. It's not any ill will on his part.
Hence the half hug.
Pat your head again. You're taking tomorrow off. Those are orders.
But don't we have a lot of...
I can handle it.
That'd be nice. Smile.
He grunts, and he heads off to go make you some sleepy time tea.
It's like trying to watch a rhino be affectionate.
He's just not good at it. So, Mez, you have your sleepy time tea, and you are now left with the knowledge that deputies are coming after you. What do you do? Do you spend the night just laying awake thinking about this?
She has a lot to think about tonight.
She really does. Where is Mez right now? Could you tell us how she's feeling, what she's thinking, as she's either milling about the blacksmith or perhaps just milling about her room?
I think like she isn't even milling about. Like she drank her tea slowly while kind of laying in bed or like leaning up in bed kind of thing. I don't think she's moving around a lot. It's more of sitting there in the dark thinking, kind of left with her head. Crying a little bit as things get a bit overwhelming. But then calming down, she's trying not to wake Doss again because she'd feel bad about that. But she's very overwhelmed. The news that Augustiana brought didn't help with the situation, but like Cornelius's words are kind of stuck in her head a lot and just kind of echo a bit. Because she made her gun for protection, not specifically for taking lives. And now that these people from Alkenstar are also after her, it just kind of makes her think more and more on this and confuses her. And it takes her a while to pass out because her mind is racing. But she does eventually.
You pass out eventually, and the sleep that comes isn't good sleep by any means. It's also far too short, even considering that Doss is letting you sleep in. No matter what the case may be in terms of allowances, your body's still used to getting up at a certain time, and so even though you've been allotted this extra time, you still wake up at 5 in the morning sharp and find yourself having to begin the struggle to fall asleep anew. And as the light filters in through the window, you're forced to pull the covers over your head in order to try and get some rest. As you do, you can hear a couple of the murmuring voices of people outside already starting to gossip over what they think might have happened last night. But you know, better than anybody, you know what happened last night. Mez, Augustiana, is there anything you guys would like to take care of in town today? Augustiana, where are you staying, having been kicked out of the smithy?
I mean, was there a room at the inn?
Yeah, if you go to the Rusty Dragon, there's certainly a room there.
Yeah, she would just stay
All
there.
right. Shalelu knows your coolest shade dress, so you can stay for free. Tonight, you might have to renegotiate with the Mako.
I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Could Mez go... I forget his name, but go to where she the like, was it the teacher or whatever that had the gun, the original?
Ganthus? Yes,
Ganthus,
yes, you
yeah.
can. He is at the orphanage, which is, give me a sec. 27. It's right there. Shout out to Past Us for labeling that. But yeah, if you wanted to do that in the morning, you could.
Yeah. Mez would kind of, I don't know, my thought process is essentially kind of go and see the original again. Her thoughts kind of wandering towards that, and like, what can I do? How can I fix this?
Well, it's an easy enough path to walk. You've been there many a time before, and will be there many times again in the future. It's a little bizarre in a way to walk it as an adult because, well, in a certain sense, you figured you'd never be going back here again. That with your apprenticeship had come the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. But you do still have some questions. The orphanage is just as you remember it, for better or for worse. Very well kept, considering what it is. You wouldn't say that you had a particularly horrible time there. Just, well, you were able to find your company where you could, and you had your friends. You had learning. And if it was, well, a little scant there at times, you got through it. Ganthus is, as you remember from the schedule that dictated most of your life. Well, what time are you heading over?
A time that would be least intrusive.
So, you know, around 1 o'clock, the orphans tend to have their post-lunch playtime. Ganthus tends to use this as time to sit out on the courtyard with a book and get some reading done.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
Sure.
Yeah, she'd approach him.
As he sees you approaching, he snaps his book shut and stands up and extends his arms wide. Asmeen, it's good to see you. You're looking... Well, actually, you're looking very tired. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a floating night, you know? I was actually thinking up some... Well, my mind kind of wandered to the, Was it just a gun? Is that what he would refer to it as? Or was there a special name for it or something?
I think he would probably call it the arquebus.
The arquebus, okay. I had a lot on my mind last night, and I thought I'd pay a visit.
You know you're always welcome here. What can I help you with?
Well, I was kind of hoping maybe I could take a look at the arquebus again.
There's a small smile on his face, an old pride at having something so unusual in his possession, but it's mellowed somewhat by his concern. He doesn't quite put a hand on your shoulder. He reaches, stops. Well, sure. I'd be happy to let you take another look at it. I was actually just thinking, with all of your adventures during the Swallowtail Festival, that you might like to come speak with the children about what you've learned when it comes to engineering and smithing. A great deal of them are actually starting to look up to you in Sheadraz now, actually.
Well, I mean, it wasn't much. Just kind of doing our part, you know?
You've always been humble, haven't you?
kind of shrugs a little sheepish. But I'd be happy to talk to them.
And we'd be happy to have you. Whenever you can get away from dust, that is.
Well, if are there anything in the plans today? Boss actually gave me the day off.
Boss.
Yeah.
Boss Das. Ganthus blinks. I have to admit, I didn't know that old dog had that in him. I thought for sure he'd be working you to the bone. But, well, for a celebrity like you, we're always happy to move the schedule around.
I'm hardly a celebrity.
As you say that, go ahead and roll me a perception check, Mez.
Oh my god. Mouse, work, please.
Mez, being once a child yourself, you have heard this saying quite a few times. As long as you can hear the children playing, things are probably fine. It's silence you have to worry about. And it occurs to you now as you're speaking to Ganthus, why do they have such similar names? As you're speaking to Ganthus, that it's gone quiet. And when you look around, you see all of the other children of the orphanage attempting to hide the fact that they are listening to you. Some of them playing cat's cradle, who just turn their heads as soon as you glance in their direction. A Gripply child who pokes his head back under the water as soon as you look over the pond. And perhaps least concealed of all, a tiefling kid who's just sort of staring at you from across the courtyard.
Seems like we got a bit of an audience.
It certainly does, doesn't it? Children, there's no overwhelming our new guest now. You hear the kids playing cat's cradle. One of them looks up and says, I wasn't bothering nobody. And Ganthus shakes his head. You were eavesdropping, weren't you? No, I wasn't. Ganthus just looks at you, Mesmine.
Bez just kind of chuckles. Were we like that when we were younger?
Oh, no, not at all, says Ganthus. You were a great deal worse.
Sorry about that. More sheepishness.
If it was you and little August and Shadres, then I'm sure I would have heard some sort of smart aleck comment from the three of you.
Well, I mean, we Sandys need to stick together.
You certainly do, and far be it from me to intrude on a child's development of free will and, well, quick wit. Would you like to see the arquebus now, or do you have time for a quick lesson for the children first?
I mean, we've already got their attention. She just smiles and laughs a little bit.
He smiles himself. All right. Children, if you'd like to attend an exclusive lecture from one of Sandpoint's very own local Swallowtail Hero festivals, Swallowtail Festival Heroes, please line up in front of Miss Kival. The children soon gather and then take their seats. They're all staring up at you.
My dude. I don't have a show, my dude.
You don't. So how are you going to handle this? These children, they have stars in their eyes at the sight of you.
Mesmine, similar to me, is very uncomfortable in a like, oh shit kind of way. What did I just sign myself up for? Oops. Well, what are any of you got any, I don't know, hang on 1 second. The music got really loud. So.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, I mean, what do y'all want to know? Got any questions?
Mesmine, you have taken the path of showing weakness in front of children.
Yep.
The second that you say this, every single hand in the house shoots up immediately, and they don't wait to shout their questions. They have so very many questions. You hear, what's it like to be a blacksmith? You hear, did you really make a goblin's head explode? Do you hear, hey, is it true that all tieflings, when they go to sleep, they kind of teleport into the infernal realm? Because somebody told me that, and I don't think that's true, but I just wanted to ask you if that's okay. I just wanted to ask you that. You hear, this is less of a question and more of a comment, but I think you're really cool. You hear, why isn't Shayadress here? Just all sorts of things coming at you at all times. And Ganthus, realizing that you are standing there with your back against the wall, raises a hand to quiet the children who do respect him. All right, one at a time, and, well, how about we let Miss Kival start off by telling us about the Swallowtail Festival, in an appropriate fashion, of course. He nods to you. How about you give us a first-hand account?
Well, I mean, it started like any other day. Damn it, you're putting me on the spot. I don't have anything.
That's okay. We can abstract the rest of it.
Like, I'm sorry.
Fade to black.
No. Please, fade to black. Go ahead and roll me.
RPs for how many years now, Iris? And you can't do the improv of this?
Improv, I suck at. You know this. Everyone knows this.
Enjoys playing tabletop games. Does not enjoy improv.
Yes, that is true.
If you elaborate.
All right. What sort of tack would you like to take with these children? Are you trying to outright entertain them? Are you trying to be informative? Is there a lesson you're trying to impart upon them?
The lesson is the power of friendship and to trust your community. You know, people's got your backs.
Okay.
She would definitely put out there that, you know, it wasn't just her. If it was just her, it would have, you know, it was everyone else. They did their part too.
All right. That sounds like you're going to be making me a diplomacy check. And I will give you a +2 because they think you're cool for now.
Can I
Just
can I persuade you to
Mm-hmm.
do knowledge local if I upsell everyone?
If you do Skillshare sponsorships in the middle, is that what you're saying?
I mean upsell as in like
Talk up.
make
Oh,
everyone else in the party
talk up. Okay.
talk up. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you.
I was wondering, what are you trying to sell to children?
Upsell. I was like, what is going on
Like,
here, Miss Mead? There are
upsell-
laws
What you really want is the premium package.
for starting
All of
today
you
off.
children know, and all
That
of you
gives you the
orphans.
gun with
She's got
60
5K to
rounds
make.
of ammo.
I will accept knowledge local.
Thank you. Knowledge local. That was a
13.
really low roll.
Yeah, that's a 3. But, that's
Ooh.
enough to entertain most of the children. They're already in a position where they think you're cool. So as you're recounting this story, they listen, and a few of the older ones you notice seem to be kind of drifting or bouncing off or very too cool for it. They start going off to do other things, just as you maybe would have when you were that age. But the young ones are glued to their seat. And that little tiefling kid in center just has so many questions for you.
Mez will answer all the questions the kids ask to the best of her ability. Even the teleporting thing, she'll be like, well, I mean, I don't know that, but you never know.
You should ask Shay.
Yeah, I was gonna
I don't
say.
see where I go when I sleep.
One of the kids asks you a very important question, Mesmine. This is the Gripply child, the little frog child, who has crawled out of the water and just kind of crouches, frog style, near you. Looks up at you and goes, "How come we all sound like this, but Shay address sounds funny?"
every kid waiting in bated breath.
Yeah.
Yes, it's dead
Staring at
silence
you.
here because they didn't even realize this was a question they could ask. Yes, it's that frog child is staring back at you.
Well, I mean, I don't think she sounds funny. I think she sounds like all of us.
The Gripply kid tilts his head. No, 'cause she sounds whiny.
Well, I mean, that is kind of rude to say, don't you think?
The other kids kind of chuckle, and Ganthus waves a hand. Now, you can save that question for Shaydras whenever we manage to get her to visit. But don't hold your breath.
That. Good luck with that.
Everyone say thank you to Miss Kival. You get a somewhat unified, somewhat delayed, thank you, Miss Kival, from the children. And Ganthus then starts leading you away for a moment, one of the assistants at the orphanage taking over as he leads you downstairs toward the arquebus.
Those kids really are curious, aren't they?
We encourage it here. What sort of wizard would I be if I didn't encourage it? Although it does get to be difficult.
True. If you hadn't If you had been so encouraging, I don't think I'd be where I am now.
A pride of Sandpoint. I can't tell you how happy I was to hear that you'd been involved in that.
It's Mez has a slight, like her mood shifts a little bit to a little bit more sad, but she gives the smile and thanks for for the compliment, but doesn't quite reach her eyes.
He doesn't seem to notice that it doesn't quite reach your eyes as he's leading you downstairs into what was probably once his very fancy wizard sanctum, covered as it is in arcane sigils and old books and astrolabes and all manner of implements. And the one that interests you most is at the center, in its own display case, just as you remember it, a shattered rifle. Well, have you got your eyes set on repairing the thing? It's a little delicate. I don't know how it would handle all of this sea air, to be honest with you, but if anyone was going to repair it, it would be you.
You want me to repair it? I mean, I hadn't even thought of that. I mean, it'd be honor if you let me.
I wouldn't mind letting you have a look. But you didn't come here to fix it?
No, I just kind of want to see it again. You mind telling me where you got it again?
Oh, this thing. Well, I found it. Must have been about 40 years ago now, while I was out on an adventure in Tian Sha. I do all sorts of experimentation with explosives over there, as you may have heard. It was more popular when I was a young man before Alkenstar clamped down on the whole matter, but we were dealing with a spate of bandit attacks, my friends and I, and, well, these were legendary bandits in the area said to harness thunder as their weapon. Of course, when we tracked them down, it was just this that they were using, and, well, it still struck us all with fear. We'd never seen anything like it. The sound of it alone was enough to leave our ears ringing. But as we approached, and fear was in my heart, wondering what would happen when they pointed it toward us, it exploded right in that fellow's hand. We were able to overcome them fairly easily after that, but I couldn't get the idea of the thing out of my mind. I had to keep the pieces.
She listens to the story while looking at the archivist and kind of walking around it a bit, seeing it in different angles. Kind of remembering when she first saw it, the first time she saw it. Have you ever seen another one like it?
Not in all my days. Well, not until you made yours.
Do you know much about Alkenstar?
Arms dealers. Ghastly work. I try to give it a wide berth.
Well, I don't mean to alarm you or anything, but at least for for next few weeks, foreseeable future. I suggest maybe putting that thing up.
You mean hiding it away, right?
Yeah.
He frowns. Are you expecting some trouble, Mesmine?
Unfortunately, yes.
Ganthus has never been the sort of guy to act on impulse. So, for a little while, he stands there in the silence, thinking, running a hand through his beard. Well, if it comes down to it, you might be able to hide in the hinterlands for a while.
I mean, I'll keep that in mind, but I don't want to be too far away from home.
Only be a day or two away, and you know all of us would be happy to waylay them for you.
But how long till they bring more trouble?
What, you don't trust in Mayor DeVaren's ability to run a bureaucrat in circles? She's very good at that, you know.
I assume Mesmine has met the mayor, but I don't know if she knows the mayor personally, right?
You've probably not spoken with her personally, but she has probably come in once or twice to the smithy. She's the sort to be pretty involved in the community. She is supernaturally strong-willed, especially considering she did not want this job.
I mean, I guess you're right, but I don't want to get more people involved in either.
Mesmine, how many of the people of this town have you helped out before?
Is that an actual question?
I'm curious as to hear what you would say.
I mean, I know most people from this town. Helped in some way or another, I think.
I think it'd be good if you let some of us help you, in exchange for all the good you've done for us. Not just at the Swallowtail Festival, but the little things, too. Fixing our horseshoes, or putting a rush on our broken fences, or even just inspiring some children today.
Mez thinks on that and takes his words to heart. I appreciate Ganthus.
He nods. And worse come to worse, I do have a sanctum you can borrow.
Is he referring to that room, essentially?
Roll me a sense motive.
That's 14.
Let me roll something on my end over here. Mesmine, it is unclear what this man means by that.
Okay.
He just smiles at you, winks. Can I get you some coffee? Tea, perhaps?
Nah, I really should be going. I got some other places to go. You wouldn't believe it, but, an old friend's back in town.
Oh? Who is it?
She just smiles. Let's say the Sandys are getting back together.
Ganthus puts on a very exaggerated, like, fear shake where he retreats back from you with one hand held up and the other across his chest. Mesmine, don't say things like that. An old man's heart can only take so much.
She just full on laughs. Thanks again, Ganthus. Appreciate it. But now I should get going.
He nods. You're always welcome here, you know. And he opens his arms again for another hug if you would like one. He won't take offense if you don't.
Yeah, nah. Just kind of like handshake.
Mm-hmm. He accepts the handshake graciously and helps you get on your way. And with that, I think we will shift our focus away from Mesmine's kind of sad, kind of wholesome day to somebody who is also having a lot of very conflicting feelings about their life at present. Kokoro, did you get any sleep?
She did eventually. It took her a little bit. Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay. I thought my audio cut out again. Okay.
No, you're good. I was just letting you have room to expand if you wanted.
Okay. It took her a couple hours to get to sleep, but she eventually woke up well rested and refreshed.
And as you wake up, it's usual for you. Ameko, despite her injuries, still manages to wake up before you. You hear the sizzle downstairs of breakfast being made, along with the hushed sounds of what seems to be a good-natured argument between Shalelu and Ameko over what exactly breakfast should be. By the time you get down there, it seems that they've settled on a Western-style breakfast of eggs, bacon, and buttered toast.
You mean there's no Minkai rice? She'll say as she hops onto the table, or onto the seat.
As you say this, Ameko pinches her nose and goes, "Don't get her." And then Shalelu immediately cuts in. It doesn't make sense for the rice to be mixed in with other ingredients. It's better when they're all separate.
No, you have to mix it in with the egg.
But then everything tastes like eggs.
Exactly. Rice doesn't have a taste, so I might as well mix it in.
Ameko waves her hand and goes, It's no use. I cannot tell you how many times I've had this discussion." As you settle onto your meal, Ameko looks you up and down. So, how are you feeling?
Took me a while to get some sleep, but I'm not worried about the both of you. How you doing?
It took me a little bit to get some rest too, but, well, at least I'm home, right? Could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Not a whole lot worse, but it could be.
Ameko has a very sad laugh in reaction to that. Yeah, I can't imagine many ways in which it could be worse. I guess we could be outside right now. We could be camping. Shalelu looks up. The camping would be better. Ameko smiles. Sure. Yeah. A lot better.
I've had Joe camping food, and I would prefer not to.
Shalelu just looks down, pokes at her eggs, does not consume them. Ameko looks to you again. So, what's the plan for today? Anything I can help you with?
I'm going to go down and see Bela and Sooner.
At the mention of Suto, Ameko's face gets a bit shadowy, and you do catch Shalelu's hand going to rub the back, Ameko's back. Yeah, I guess somebody should get his side of the story. Are you gonna be okay doing that?
I mean, it's gonna suck, but somebody needs to talk to him, right? And I don't want you near him right now. Not as you are.
It says a lot about the situation that Ameko, who's normally so quick to joke around and brush things off, doesn't contest you there. Just looks down at her own tea, takes a sip of it. I'm sorry I can't be there with you. It's I hope you understand.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just trying to look out for both of you.
Shalelu blinks. Both of us. I'm perfectly fine. I'm looking after. Ameko laughs, just breaks out laughing, shakes her head. She means the family, Lele. And Shalelu nods. Right, that does make sense. Well, I'll be looking after Ameko, so you don't have to worry about that part.
So, technically, you are family now.
What?
Oh, you didn't tell her?
Tell me what? Ameko leans her head back. I mean, that's getting very technical about it, isn't it?
Suto got married to Nualia.
And Shalelu blinks. Nualia? Art!
You didn't tell her about that either.
Nualia. She was there when you guys found the note, but
okay.
She's expressing more surprise of, like, marriage. And Ameko just pinches her nose. I don't get it either.
Yep. That's what he told me. He even made a little glasswork of it.
Shalelu just stares at you for a little bit. The piece is not making any sense to her. Then Ameko sighs, has another bit of her tea. I think we had better have you go talk to Suto before Shalelu's head breaks clean in two. I feel like that's coming up, and the technique for putting her back together is a very secret one.
But I almost want to see it, and I've been with you too long enough.
Ameko holds up both her hands. I mean, really secret.
She, like, arches her eyebrow at her sister.
Shalelu has an egg. What are you hiding from me?
Yeah.
Ameko grins and goes, look, we've all got our secrets, right? I promise this one isn't bad.
You're lucky I know that you're a stand-up girl.
No, actually, I play the shamisen. I don't do comedy. That's your routine.
I am rather good at it, aren't I?
You are. And see, that's where I'm getting it from. It's rubbing off on me.
Yes, I understand. It's all beginning to make sense now.
Shalelu very quietly goes, "No, it isn't."
Hmm?
Shalelu said, "No, it isn't," very quietly. And Ameko waves her hand. Yeah, it kind of is. Just roll with it. Just roll with it for a little while, please.
All right. But make me proper eggs and rice. None of this separate stuff.
Ameko will nod and look sidelong at Shalelu. I think we can manage that if it's a special order.
Do you want to make something to bring to Sune?
Here's a momentary pause, and then I guess they're probably not going to be feeding him very well in there, are they? While you get ready, I'll make him something.
Actually, I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
As you go toward the kitchen to get started, you see Abeko looking away, but you catch Shalelu's eyes for a second, and she just nods to you once.
Mm-hmm. Soft, slow wink to her, and then I'll go into the kitchen.
What are you making your extremely beleaguered brother-in-law? Brother.
I will make some almond rice for him.
A very delicate dish requiring a great deal of coordination and a light touch. Yet, one you've made enough that I won't call for a roll for it. With your food in tow, you're free to head down toward the barracks.
I will do so. And I am going to make a second serving to give to Baylor as well.
You're going to confuse the shit out of that man, and you know it.
Yes, that's the point.
As you make your way through the streets, you encounter the same issue that everyone else has so far. It's quiet. Too quiet. To a performer like yourself, you're very familiar with the different types of silences. And as you're making your way through the streets, people tend to get quieter when you approach. And you're not used to that. You don't like it. The way that the conversation seems to start back up after you walk past, when they think you're out of earshot. And you can't catch the words, but you can't shake the feeling that they're talking about you. And certainly, as you walk into the jail, a hush does come over the place, which is usually pretty busy. The guard who's at the desk starts to say something, only for Baylor himself to cut in. He's passing by with a stack of papers in hand, looking about as sleep-deprived as you would expect, given the circumstances. Miss Kaijitsu, I have to admit I wasn't expecting to see you, at least not for another couple days.
Hello, Baylor. Have I become something of a pariah in this area?
Pariah? No. But my men are doing the best they can to try and keep the rumors from spreading, but well, it's hard to conceal that something happened at the glassworks last night. You'll have to forgive some of our townspeople. They can be paranoid after the murders a few years ago.
Are you hungry, Balo? I brought lunch.
His brows rise, and he takes a second to think about it, looks around. Yeah, I could eat.
Well, let's talk and eat, shall we?
He nods. By all means, have you got somewhere in mind?
Just somewhere quiet. Perhaps on a park bench, or if you have an office.
He nods. Right, office it is. He leads you through the jail, up some steps to what passes for his office. It's, well, fairly drab. It's in a jail, after all, but he's done what he can to spruce up the place. You see some Shawanti decorations on the walls, intricate weave works, and cloth hanging up in various colors that combinations you don't really see in Varisian homes. He has a couple of commendations up there, but really it's a very simple office for a very simple man. He directs you to take a seat across from him.
Have you had omurice before? It's a Minkayan tradition. I also brought some soy, if it's not exactly to your taste.
Omurice, he repeats. You'll have to forgive me. Is this some sort of milk rice?
It's egg, actually.
Egg. He thinks about this for a second, then raises his brows. Can't say I've had too much egg in my time, but I'm always willing to give things a try. Let's see it.
She'll hand him the plate, and then she'll also put some packets of soy and some other stuff next to it as well. Yeah.
Of course, you're careful to keep the red dragon,
Of course.
the rusty dragon branding face up, right?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. He looks at the omurice, which is burrito shaped. You've rolled it for easier transport. Thinks about it for a second, then just opens a drawer, picks up a kind of greasy looking knife and fork that he keeps in there, probably for late nights, and starts digging in. Takes a bite, chews for a little while. Huh. I don't see texture like that every day. It's pretty good.
Yeah, me and Amine have been trying to spread it into Sandpoint. Get some Minkayan traditions going in here. It hasn't been terribly successful so far, but...
Oh, she did win the cooking competition. People in this town are... Well, sometimes they can be a little close-minded, but they have good hearts, most of them. And I know it's hard work trying to introduce anything new. Believe me, I know. But I think you've made some progress at least. I mean, half the town's raving over that. What was it? Miso salmon?
Oh, so that's taken off. That's wonderful. It's so hard to get to salmon.
He nods. You wouldn't believe the amount of complaints I get when you guys run out of it early. Some folks think it's false advertising. Had to set that straight.
Oh no, I'm sorry to give you so much trouble.
That's the sort of trouble I'd rather be dealing with, Miss Kaijitsu.
Unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of that, aren't we?
He takes another bite and nods. An awful lot. It hasn't been this bad since I was a young man.
And the attack that's coming, are you preparing for it?
Half the force is working on keeping the town calm. The other half is, well, they're trying to find all the able-bodied people we can to drum up some kind of militia. It's hard going, but thankfully the town is pretty defensible, especially if if it comes down to it, we can knock down the bridges.
Thank goodness that Suto warned you, didn't it? Wouldn't you agree?
He looks up at you, and there's a clear moment of consideration and evaluation. Yes, but if it wasn't for him, I don't know if we'd be in this situation at all.
I think you would
Miss,
be. You read the note as much as us did. Even if it wasn't Suto, it would have been Nualia.
at the mention of Nualia's name, he winces. I still can't believe Tobin's girl would do something like this. But, Miss Kaijitsu, you understand. We have about a dozen murders to deal with that are all tied to your brother. Whether or not he was able to warn us of the oncoming assault, there has to be some sort of punishment.
I'm not asking for him to get off with nothing. Rather than that, I want to give him a chance to show his sincerity. You said you need an able body, right? It took all of us and Shalelu to bring him down. He would be a good asset for the defense.
He takes a moment to consider this, chewing as he is on the omurice. Takes the last bite, leans back, takes out a pink silk handkerchief, and quickly wipes his face before putting it away. We do need able bodies, and nobody's going to say that your brother isn't among the most athletic men in town. But he could hardly speak to us about what was going on. How do we know he'll be able to fight back?
I think as long as he doesn't fight Nualia directly, it'll be okay. He had no problem smacking some goblins that were trying to kill me earlier. And he did risk his life to give that information to us. That spell damn near killed him.
He frowns again and steeples his fingers. Miss Kaijitsu, what exactly is it you're asking for here?
I'm asking that if he shows himself in the defense, you'll lessen his sentence a little bit, whatever that sentence may be. I feel like he deserves a chance to do that, especially after he risked his life to warn everybody.
You want him to go with you to Thistletop?
If not go with me to Thistletop, then help you defend Sandpoint. Either would be fine. But if he were to lead us to Nualia, that would show that he's just been manipulated and used like everybody else here. I feel like that would be good judgment for the judge.
There's another deep line carved into his forehead as he seems to be mulling all of this over. Could you make me a diplomacy check, Coco?
Yeah. Do I get any bonuses for my logic? Smile.
I will give you a +2.
Yes. I don't have diplomacy.
How do you not have to? What?
It's not a class skill. I have ranks in it, but it's not a class skill.
What the hell?
I have bluff, not diplomacy.
I fully thought you had diplomacy.
It's okay. 18
Oh,
with the
man.
bonus.
18. Okay. Let
Diplomacy
me.
is not a sorcerer skill.
That is insane to me. Let me see here. Where is this man's fucking? Oh God. They do this thing where the handout doesn't have the character like stats on it, so I have to open the goddamn token page to get them. So give me a second here. Is it under? See, it's not under B for Baylor either. It's under S for Sheriff.
What?
Oh, okay, fine. All right, let's go. All right, and let's see here. And what's your total? 18?
It'd be 18.
You rolled a 19.
Mm.
I am very sorry. He seems to consider for a second. You're asking a lot here, Miss Kaijitsu. This man... I mean... Taking him in alive was already a task, to be honest with you. There's plenty of people in this town who wouldn't even want to conscience that. They think that I should have already sent him to the gallows. How am I going to explain to people when he's walking around telling them how to fortify their houses? It's not that I don't have any sympathy for your situation, but we have to figure out a middle ground here.
You don't have to give him a leadership position. In fact, keep him away from the front lines. He's a bowman. Put a mask on his head, do something. Anything to give him a chance to show his sincerity.
How about this? You came here to see him, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Let me mull this over. The two of you have your chat, and you stop by again and we'll talk.
Okay. Thank you very much.
He nods and he gestures toward the hallway. You're gonna want to go all the way downstairs to the left.
Thank you very much. And she will slowly get up. Oh, and try it with soy sauce. It's a unique spice. She says that she'll work out.
As you're walking out, you hear the sound of him tearing open the soy sauce packet.
Yes.
You make your way downstairs through the hustle and bustle of the jail, or what would be the hustle and the bustle if it weren't for the circumstances. Your circumstances, which seem to follow you now, as smoke follows a fire. And as you approach Suto's cell, the guard seems to expect you. He's not surprised to see you. He nods to you. Did the boss give you clearance?
Sure did.
He raises a brow but doesn't say anything and unlocks the door for you. You've got 15 minutes.
Thank you kindly.
Doesn't say anything to this, just crosses his arms, waits, staring at the... God, why am I forgetting the name of the thing? Hourglass. There we go. That's on a table for him to take a look at and keep track of the amount of time everyone spends talking to one of the visitors. Your brother is well, he's been better. His leg is still hurt, even though Sola and the others have done what they can in order to fix it. He'll be able to walk on it again, you're fairly sure, but he's still in a great deal of pain as he's recovering. And in fact, his eyes are closed as you walk in, but that doesn't stop him from recognizing you. You know, I was wondering which one of you it would be.
Well, I don't think Amine wants to see you for a little bit, and I can't say I blame her. And I'll kneel down. I've got breakfast.
He winces. I don't blame her either. He sits up, propping himself up more with his arms than with his legs. And as his eyes open, you see they're rimmed with red. But he looks at the small package you've brought him and with a nod will take it into his lap. Thank you. You didn't have to do this, you know.
Yes, I did. With family.
That doesn't mean... I know it doesn't look good for your career to be here right now.
Oh, please. Any blemishes to my career will be completely wiped away the next time they hear me sing. The people of Sandpoint are quick to change their minds like that.
He tilts his head, raises a brow. I wouldn't say that. He starts unwrapping the breakfast you've made for him, and when he sees that it's omurice, there's a moment of almost childlike relief on him. You can see the boy that he was once. And he picks up the chopsticks and starts eating. But there's a bit of sadness at the corner of his eyes.
Do you regret anything that you've done, Suta?
He takes a moment to finish the morsel that he's on. What I regret is complicated. I regret that you're involved in this now, that Ameko... I regret what I did to her. It shouldn't have gone like that. I was supposed to be able to get the two of you out of town, and you'd never know that we were involved at all. We would meet back up somewhere else, and we were supposed to... It was all supposed to be easier than this.
Why talk at Sandpoint at all? I know they haven't been kind to us in general, but to go after an entire town, that's not a you thing.
Do you know how these people treated Nualia?
I imagine as a tiefling she had some issues.
Azamar, actually. He
right.
raises, he kind of shrugs and frowns a little bit. You can see him trying to figure out how to put this. You're pretty popular in Kokoro. There's places where, in Magdamar, for instance, you wouldn't really be able to leave your hotel room without having somebody at your side to manage the people who wanted to talk to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those people, they just want to talk most of the time. They want to know that you looked at them, that you said something to them. And If that gets bad, you can always skip town. You can go somewhere else. It wasn't like that for Nualia. From the time that she was 4 or 5 years old, from the time they dropped her off at Tobin's doorstep, people were crowding her whenever they could. Big crowds, dozens of people. And they didn't just want to say hello. They wanted to get her hair. They wanted her to heal them. They wanted her blessing. All because she was born the way she was. Every day of her life, from the day that she was adopted, she had to deal with that weight. Carry it. All by herself. Knowing how much people expected of her. How much they wanted from her. She gave everything she could to these people, and they kept asking for more. And she knew she could never leave. Not with the way that they kept crowding her. Not with the pedestal that they had put her on. That's the sort of town this is. They'll take everything they can from you.
I fully believe that, but is it worth really killing everybody over it? Burning down homes?
The sort of freedom that she's looking for doesn't come cheap. Is it what I would do? Probably not, but you can't deny that there are people in this town who do deserve to die. Do you really think that our father deserved to walk around having done what he did? People here knew the way that I was being treated, and nobody helped me.
I think everybody deserves a chance to redeem themselves, even if they won't take it.
What if certain people are beyond that? They've done something so awful that there's no redeeming them.
I think if you try hard enough, anybody can be redeemed. They have to want it, though.
He seems to hold himself back from saying something, and you see a gesture that might have once been a scoff, but is softened and kind of just turns into his shoulder as if he's wiping his mouth on his threadbare jail uniform instead. You sound like a priest of Sarenrae.
I sound like a priest of Daikitsu. Which, by the way, I am. In case you forgot, Goddess, she kind of like holds out her arms and says, like, "Are you looking at me? Did you forget?"
He is looking at you, and he's paying attention now. But his brows are narrowing a little over his eyes. Even if I wanted the kind of redemption you're talking about, the people in this town would never let me have it.
Who cares what the town people think? Do it for yourself. And do it for your family. Not for father, for me and your sister.
Ameiko's never going to talk to me again.
No, she will. She's not going to talk to you right now, and I think that's only fair, but we both still care for you. And we know you didn't come up with this plan to murder thousands of civilians. That's just not you.
He winces at that and doesn't say anything at all to it. You're left with a few minutes of silence in your precious 15-minute conversation with your brother, as he seems to contemplate the things that you've said to him.
Listen, Suto, I'm trying to argue for you, to give you a chance to redeem yourself. It'll probably involve killing some goblins, but they might be willing to commute your sentence if you cooperate.
That would be... They'd be idiots to offer that sort of thing to someone like me.
Which is why they're offering it to me. And I'm gonna make it worth their while.
This seems to surprise him, and he narrows his eyes at you. Baylor offered you that?
He's considering it right now. He also likes all my rice.
He raises his brows and... it is really good. Family recipe, right?
Yep.
Ko-chan, you don't... Why are you doing any of this?
What a stupid question, brother. I love you. You're my brother.
He looks at you, Coco, and for a second, it's very steely-eyed, pained. And then you see the start of moisture at the corner of his eye. And then he quickly turns away. The people in this town don't deserve any of this. Any of your mercy, or I don't deserve. And he can't seem to find any further words. Outside, the guard knocks his foot against the bars. You got 2 minutes left in there.
Thank you very much. Brother, everybody deserves a chance. And I believe that you did it for love, but you don't kill people. Well, you killed father, but you don't kill people that don't deserve it. So put in the work and try and redeem yourself, at least a little bit. I'd hate to see you in the gallows.
He's silent again for a long while as he swallows and tries to gather himself up. I need you to think about whether or not they deserve it. But I guess they're going to kill me anyway, so I might as well put myself to use in the meantime.
And Kokoro gets up, and she'll begin speaking in Minkai. And if you feel like they're going to kill you even after defending them, well, just run. I'll make sure Shea just doesn't find you. And she'll walk out, and she'll give a deep bow to the guard. And thank you very much for your time.
The guard just nods to you professionally once.
Enjoy the omurice, brother, she says as she waves her hand as she walks away.
He waves back to you, but he doesn't say anything. You get the sense that he doesn't know even what he would say.
And she will return to Baylor.
You find Baylor with a stack of empty soy packets in front of him, and just a pool, a miniature lake of soy on his plate. He's got his fingers steepled. And as you walk in, he nods to you rather than saying anything in greeting. Then,
You like it with the soy, huh?
I have to admit, it's pretty good. Although, if you have too much of it, it kind of leaves your tongue tingling, doesn't it?
Water or maybe like a juice.
He picks up a container, a canteen, pours some water in, then dabs his finger into the mixture he's made, tastes that. Yeah, maybe I just used too much.
You only really need like 1 or 2 packets. The rest of it are just for you to have.
It's not like tomato sauce?
No, it is not like tomato sauce.
He lets it hang for a second and then... You're asking for a lot.
I spoke with him, and he's willing to take down as many goblins as he can.
If I allow this, and that's a big if, he says, holding up a finger, it's going to come with some conditions.
Whatever they are, I'm sure he's willing.
He's to be supervised the whole time, and not just by you, by one of the others. Shayadress, if you can get her.
I figured he was going to be staying here defending. I didn't think you'd want him with us.
Leaving him in town, I'm afraid to say, might put him in more danger than sending him out.
Fair enough.
I admit there is some wisdom to perhaps him knowing something that might be able to help you.
Don't worry, I'm sure Shayadress will not want to leave his side.
He winces. Don't let him try to work the charm on both of those sisters, please.
I do not think Suto is capable of charming either one of them.
You say that, but it seems like he's married to Nuwali, huh? Even he has difficulty believing it.
I think that is only pissing her off even more.
Then he just looks down for a second. And if he comes back in one piece, it's still going to be jail time for him. A lot of jail time. This is just to keep him off the gallows. You understand that, right?
That's fine.
And
Jail time means eventual freedom.
It might not in this case. If the mayor wants to, she can just keep him in prison for the rest of his natural life. He killed... go on.
Then I'll just have to find a way to reduce the sentence further. There's nothing I can't do.
This place has laws, Miss Kaijitsu. Every place does. Keeps everything running smoothly. And however much you love your brother, I need you to think about for a second that he killed, at the bare minimum, 12 other people who all had their own siblings and who all love them just as much as you love him. What are they going to do when they see him walking around free, knowing that their siblings never coming home again? Some of them had children, Miss Kaijitsu.
Have I ever asked once for him to be simply released?
There's this talk of reducing sentences, I need you to know what you're dealing with.
I'll take all of their hatred upon me if that's what it takes.
Be careful what you're asking for there.
I know fully well what I'm asking for. Whether it be hate or love, I want everybody to focus on me. That's just kind of the greedy girl I am.
He just stares at you for a second and then sighs. If he goes missing, you're the one who's going to have to stand trial.
That's fine.
Is it? Do you understand what that means? The responsibility you're going to have to assume.
I'll be killed, right? I'm ready for it.
He doesn't seem to have anything to say to that, just pinches his nose. Don't make me regret this.
I won't, don't worry.
You can swing by later, before Shalelu takes you off to Thistletop. We'll hand him over then.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you for the lunch, by the way. I hope the next time we have one, it's in better circumstances.
You're always free to come to the Rusty Dragon. We'll have a special on it next week.
That's when I can get a second away from work, and it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon.
I think we're starting deliveries too.
Now that, if you've got any flyers for that, you leave them here and we'll make sure you get plenty of business.
I'll be sure to jump some up.
Take care, Miss Kaijitsu.
She gives a small, like, 2-finger salute. And that's her business done.
And that's my throat shot.
What do you mean? We was just about to ask if Ismark could go have an extended scene with fucking Sheriff Baylor right now.
Actually, Shay wants to talk to Baylor as well.
Don't work here, I can tag in for you.
That low register is hard, man.
What do you mean? It's easy as hell.
Just get good.
I know, right?
Delicious.
But as we are finishing up with one of the now blended Kaijitsu Tobin family, we're going to turn our attention now to the other. Shadras, you have just bid farewell to Ismark after it must be said, interesting interrogation. The two of you are off by the White Stag, which, if you'll remember, is very nearby to the cathedral. But as you're finishing up, across the way, you spot an unmistakable silhouette emerging from emerging from Quink's cabin. You see Sabine and Sola next to her.
Huh.
Oh shit, I have to pay
Nice.
attention.
You could have Sola just power walk away if you want.
You can have Sola leave if you want.
You could just have her leave. She's got shit to do.
If you don't have the brain cells, that is totally fine.
Sailor, why do you...
Well, see ya.
He always fucking does this. It's only when my character's doing something. He's like, play tug? Play tug? Attention? Attention? No, that's my
Sailor.
fucking sleeve. Fuck off.
Sailor boy.
Okay. Sailor boy. She just on her way. Fucking weird ass conversation with Ismark. Fucking. She's both like confused, a little worried, also really fucking jealous. As she walks away from Ismark, like, I want a fucking, I want a cool fucking jacket. The fuck. As she makes her way, she sees. I imagine she doesn't really pay attention to people, and when she spots like peripheral people, she just kind of ignores them. However, Sola is very bright blue.
And always
And
very
that's
bright
what-
colors.
Yeah, very bright colors. So she looks and she's like, "Oh, a person I fuck with. Nice." So she would probably make a pit stop. Probably just, say "What's up" to Sola. A little hi and bye as she passes. And then she spots Sabille next to her and she's like, "Oh. Okay. Cool." She starts heading over.
I imagine that Sola is probably filling Sabille in as they are leaving the cabin to not distress the old man. Properly filling her in on what some people are going to be getting up to today.
Yeah. I imagine they're having a chat.
Oh damn, I'm in the city.
Yeah, we're leaving town. Gonna go fight a goblin army.
Oh shit.
And as
See.
the two of you are chatting, you see a very rare sight indeed, which is Shayadress walking toward people.
Take a picture.
Mom,
This
get
shit
the
doesn't
camera.
happen. Get the fucking camera. She's walking towards people. Oh my god, she's initiating an interaction. But she walks up with a wave.
Fuck. What's the Sola voice again?
I'm trying to figure out the J voice, so we're both in the same boat, my dude.
I think she's Russian, Austrian.
Something.
She's
very
auntie shaped.
Yes. I see that you are already up and moving. Thought you would stay in the
Yeah.
inn.
Now. Got things to do. People to see. Sorta. Not really. Kinda hate it.
Oh, the
She
dramas
turns.
of having people that you know.
Yeah. How do I stop?
Yeah, you're seeing two right now.
Trow. Ow. Points to Sabille. Reaches into her bag. Pulls out a book. Presents it to Sabille.
Oh shit, that for me?
Yeah. Supposed to bring it back, what, next month? But, you're here. I don't want to really come back for a couple of months, so. Birds, stones. Hands it over.
I think this is the first time you've returned a book on time. I don't know what
Narrows
to
her
do.
eyes. What was that last word?
I don't know what to do.
Have you been
Look.
stealing books from here? It's not very nice.
No! No, I come into town every couple of months. So, I return them every couple of months.
Yeah, even the ones you take out for a week. Every couple of months.
Couple of... Who else is reading these? It's just me.
Yeah.
She like looks at the book, holds up the subject. It's like it's just weird fucking like literature, like poetry, prose bullshit that I'm pretty sure no one else fucking reads in town except Shay.
How'd you get into that anyway?
She just doesn't say anything. She just looks at the sky.
Sola's like kind of staring at the smoke for a moment, head tilts. Oh, you read poetry, Shay. You should
You know,
recite
I'm
once.
busy.
Oh, so quick to run away.
No, I just got shit to do. So, you gonna go somewhere else?
Hey, Shay. I know it'll cheer you up.
What?
Got a new one for you. Bear with me. You
She
get
Turns
the-
back.
You get the
Yeah,
post
revenge.
out in your cabin, you know, the postman.
I think she would shoot
She-
the postman.
Work with me
Thanks.
here.
Oh God, does Shay get mail?
Shay does occasionally get mail, but it suspiciously shows up when Shay is not home.
Oh, good. She's in town. I can run and just drop it off at her doorstep and run back before
Quick,
she gets
quick,
back.
go!
Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
They have to have a second person watch out. It's like, no, she's coming back. Get out of there. Abort.
Oh shit, she's going back, run! She kind of stops for a second, she thinks. She's like, yeah, sorta.
Yeah, I was thinking I could probably send books out to you, but I'd need your Shay address.
She narrows her eyes again. Not in like a glare, it's more of like a squint of like, why? I know you just said why, but why? Like,
She was just deadpanning and just waiting for it.
so? She thinks for a second. What? What's the book about?
Shay address.
No. What's it about?
You know, I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Is there even a book?
There are a lot of books, alright? Could be any of them.
Shay looks so fucking done. Yeah, this is why you don't got my address.
Oh, that's why? You don't Shay.
I imagine Shay just lets out a snort. And kind of like a laugh that she kind of stifles a little bit because she's supposed to be fucking mad right now. She can't laugh. It's like, you know, fucking points to Sabine, fucking points over to Sola. Or Sabine is just like, maybe.
Sola is like,
Yeah.
doesn't even notice that she's getting pointed out. Her eyes have closed.
Mm-hmm.
She's meditating.
Fucking
Damn, I think we're boring her.
Looks at Sola. Yeah, probably. Anyway, I'll think about it. And if you actually have a book, then maybe.
See about sending some out as long as you bring them back.
Always. Just, a couple of weeks late.
Why don't you just send them back with the post guys?
I never see him.
What
I
do you
think
mean
they
you
only
never
go
see him?
when she is in town.
Probably.
Shay, what do you do to them?
Shoots at him.
I've never seen him. Never. I think they exist in theory. Like, they gotta, right?
I'm going to take you to the post office the next time you are in town and make you shake their hands.
No.
Yes. So maybe they won't think you're the boogeyman and you will be proven that they are real.
And then they'll talk to me.
Don't ruin the mystery for them.
Nods.
That's all they got. They just deliver mail.
I think I would prefer not to have to run. Not to end up having a heart attack because they think Shay's coming after them.
What the fuck do they think I do?
I don't know, it's kind of funny.
She shrugs. She's like, fucking later. Maybe later.
I believe I was talking to Shay before you came over, or I was talking to Sabine before you came over, and she was considering joining our little excursion.
Shay was looking at Sola, and then she looks to Sabine. And she looks at Sola again. And she turns and she looks at Sabine. And then Shay kind of rests a hand on her hip. And as she looks at Sabine, kind of tilts her head a little bit. It's like, oh, you sure you're old enough?
Damn kid.
Maybe in a few years, when you're older, you could join us.
Maybe when you grow up, you'll be able to look me in the eye without tilting your head back.
There's just like the slightest grin on Shay's face as she again has to look up at Sabine because Sabine's like what?
Over 6 feet.
Yeah, she's tall. Shay's only like what, 5'8"? 5. Oh wait, how tall? She's 5'10". She's a little taller than I thought she was. Still not as tall as Sabine. Oh fuck! I'm so sorry, buddy. Oh no, I bonked him.
Oh
Why
no.
you do this?
It's
Why do
not
you do
okay.
this to the boy?
It's okay. It's okay. I was literally just fucking vibing. Anyway. Shay kind of looks at Sabine. I was like, oh, maybe, but I'm not worried about stairways. We don't want someone interrupting our adventure. So,
Yeah, I'd hate to ruin all your fun.
yeah. Got to double back, drop you off.
Where do you want to drop me off?
Him shrugs.
Come on, Shay. Finish your joke.
Looks over at Sola. He's like, so, should we drop her out of the bookshop or just leave her on the beach?
Sola is not paying attention again. Has turned and is having a very whispered conversation with John and Holly. And looks back
Alright, well, that day.
and just looks between the two. So, very quick with all of this. Don't think it would be a code between the two of you.
I'm so sorry, my headphones cut out.
Just saying, like, the two of you are very quick with this. It's almost like it's code between the two of you.
Shay just shrugs. He's like, no, I'll be nice. You don't even have to fight me for it.
I'll fight
That'd be
you.
real, shitty to do to someone.
I'll fight you if you want to fight.
Save it.
I just said I.
Right here, right now.
Shay just looks at her. He's like, I just said I wasn't. So.
Yeah, people are always saying they don't want to do things they want to do.
Why? Just looks confused.
No, that's what I call a damn good question.
Yeah. She kind of looks up at the sky again, kind of gauging time because she doesn't have a watch.
It's about 2 o'clock.
Okay. She kind of looks over back at them. She's like, okay, so. See you later? Bye.
See you around, Shay.
Peace. Walking.
So it's over. You're safe.
Sola just, there's this like long, heavy sigh.
That bad?
It is just. I do realize that this is my like. She see her like counting on her fingers. 6th language in this lifetime. It is not easy to keep up sometimes.
Yeah, I hardly blame you for that. Might have fun cutting up with people, though. You're quick wit.
And if it amuses you, I suppose it is not all bad, but you forgive me if I don't always to participate.
Guessing your fluffy buddies don't do that sort of thing.
Like,
What are you talking about? I got wit. I got tons of wit.
Oh, see, he's saying something different than you.
She's looking at Holly, who cannot talk. Here's John start, looks at John. John, having wit and ending up picking somebody at the end of the conversation do not usually coexist.
What are you talking about? That's how I get rid of witnesses.
That's a pretty good one.
John preens.
I hate everything about this interaction. Case, the two of you were not informed. I despise puns with like a deep and burning passion.
That is news to me.
Yeah, no. Sola just shakes her head a little bit. If you are going to be coming with us, I think you might need some preparation, yes?
Can't hurt. I mean, it already says we gotta be self-sufficient, but use loose definition of self.
She nods. I have a few things to gather myself, so where were we meeting, Shalala?
Guys are all meeting back up at the Dragon, I believe. And if not, you are now.
We will be meeting at the Dragon shortly before sunset.
Trip to the Dragon doesn't sound too bad. I'll check in on them in a bit.
I feel like Solo is going to go, like, look at some plants or some shit. I remember her.
You had a note that you wanted to examine the soil around the old light.
Oh, yes. Solo nods. You are free to accompany me if you want to watch or help if you know how, or wish to learn how to examine some of the properties of soil, but otherwise that is where I am heading.
Yeah, sure, I'll help out. Not my best skill.
We can turn you into a gardener eventually.
You know, I hit step 1. I know how to not kill a plant.
There's just a little pursing of the lips. I guess we can be generous and call that step 1, yes.
I got some plants in the library. They're alive.
I don't like how you hesitated just slightly there.
Maybe they're not thriving, but they're doing their best.
There's just a long look. We will swing by the library before we leave, yes. You have to drop off a book after all.
Yeah, I gotta get Shay a new one if we're heading out. She doesn't remember. She's gonna hate those long nights without something to read.
You can always, I can always see if I can dig up a notebook of poetry from Tiansha and from the Samsaran homes. It's
No,
been
you're a fan as
translated a
well?
few times. Not so much a fan, but a little piece of home. But it translated into is this just common that we are
Taldane.
Taldane. Translated into Taldane, it might take her a second to chew through.
Well, she's good at chewing.
I don't want to know.
Don't worry about it.
So's
right.
gonna head towards the lighthouse.
All right, Sola, make me. How are you tackling this investigation?
I imagine it is just very much like a step-by-step kind of little piece by little piece thing. Of at first just looking at it from a standard kind of gardening perspective, and then moving into alchemy, and then moving into like magic, and seeing if there's anything that pings off, kind of.
All right. So, make me. We'll call it perception, then knowledge, nature, or survival. I'll accept either. And then spellcraft.
Got pretty decent perception if I can help. I have I put 1 point in nature and geography.
You gonna press your face right up against it?
Yeah. That's dirt. Sure is.
I talk you into one of those being an alchemy check instead.
Yeah, last one can be alchemy.
Okay. Let's see here. Perception is math 23.
All right.
And then the knowledge nature. Yep, that got caught on an edge. There we go. So, knowledge nature is 27.
Okay.
And then the alchemy. Oh boy. Over 30.
Okay.
34.
Jesus.
I have a plus 15 in alchemy.
Pop off, queen.
Is
Matt,
my
would you like to
highest
roll as
skill.
well?
Can you repeat those rolls for me real quick?
23, 27, 30.
For what were they again?
Perception.
Knowledge, nature, alchemy.
Perception 23, knowledge what?
Nature.
27.
Nature 27, and then alchemy
Over
30
30.
plus. 30 plus.
34 is what it is.
34. My God.
God damn.
I'm getting a plus 15.
Fuck. God damn.
All right. Matt, would you like to roll, or would you like to roll anything else in examining this?
You know, can I do much to help there? I got swim.
You can find a pretty flower.
Swim is swim. I'm sorry to say is not very helpful here, but whenever we have to hit the Hong Kong arc, you know exactly what to use it for.
See, I bet that Sabile is going to be much better than Solo when we have to tackle rope climbing.
That's a free square. Sabile has 20 strength.
Jesus.
I mean, I can roll climb. You want anything from around the lighthouse? You want me to get that for you?
I mean, if you want to try and climb some of the ruins of the lighthouse, you can.
Does that help?
I mean, if you roll real high, I might give you something.
You know, sure.
You find a quarter wedged between the bricks.
I did not. I got a 3.
Jesus.
With the 12 Sabile as your... Well, let's set the scene. So with the perception, your initial evaluation, the soil is not congruous with the rest of the area. Obviously, there's lots of different types of soil. Sandpoint is very temperate, and it's by a beach, so you see a fair bit of sand at this point. Sorry. But you also see a bunch of just regular temperate soil. A lot of it here is, I mean, there's farmland, but the farmland is further south. The soil in town itself is not quite as fertile as one would perhaps hope, but it's a city, so, well, a town, so what else would you expect? But the soil you're looking at here is very much like volcanic soil. It's clearly been charred to hell and back, but that's something that's only on the surface. The more that you study it, you begin to notice that there seems to be old matter mixed in among the dirt. It's not just dirt, but also ash in places, whether that's from small bits of an old book or perhaps stone. But is that stone from the old light, or is it stone from elsewhere? You also see what you could swear, before it crumbles away, is a bit of plant matter. But the second that you lean in to get a better look at it, it just crumbles. Now, with a knowledge nature, you take a second look, really kneel down and try to get a better look, see if you can find any more of that plant matter. And you do happen to find a small plant clinging to the side of the old light. Not the light of humanity. The stems aren't spiraling the way that did, nor does it ache when you're near it. You don't feel the same sort of heat. But there is something that you notice with a 27, and that's that this particular plant isn't something that you typically find just in a garden somewhere. It's something that has far, far deeper roots. This is the sort of plant that, much like a potato or something similar, reaches down very, very far. And for you to see this single flower above ground must mean that there's something below the old light that it's feeding on. You're not quite sure what, though. At least, not initially. But with a 30, you're able to further narrow down what this plant is. And one of the things that it's used for, because it is something that has such deep roots, this is a plant that has served occasionally as a kind of a guard system. The roots at the bottom of this thing are shaped in a particular fashion that when somebody observes the flower overhead, the roots all the way beneath, wherever they may be, contract, sort of like the closing of the fingers into the palm. It's called watch root as a result of this. And it's a favorite of bandits and other such brigands who use it to, well, keep a hideout on some of their more secret activities.
I imagine that if Sabine has accompanied Sola, she's kind of just talking through the process. Both for Savile's benefit and for her own. And once she sees that plant and kind of starts to fully process what it is, she goes quiet and you see her kind of sit back on her heels and just stare at it for a moment. If I manage to survive everything that happened to Dieseltop, I think I may know what we are doing next.
Guessing it has something to do with Yon Fancy Plant.
And she nods. That is watchroot. That it is a thing that is usually planted above. Something that somebody wishes to remain hidden.
So it's like something you leave so only you know how to find it?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Is it something you leave so that only you know how to find it?
She shakes her head slightly. It is something that you plant to warn you of anybody that comes near. Like the bell on the door of the library.
Oh. So, that means we're ringing the bell right now?
Possibly. Oh, I don't know how old this plant truly is. Don't know if there's anybody listening below.
Oh, that ain't ominous at least.
There's just kind of this tiny nod of the head of yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Hidden chamber or tunnel or whatever it might be under a ancient lighthouse built by Runelord. She kind of looks at Sabine. That point has gotten very interesting over the past week.
Yeah, people always said this town was kind of slow and boring.
just have to wait long enough.
It's like they say, everything really is just built on the bones of dead gods.
There's a snort, and she stands up and kind of wipes her skirts and leggings off and wipes her hands and offers a hand to Sibyl to help her up. Well, since you accompanied me here for these, I assume that I can count on your interest in digging under the lighthouse.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
It's not terrible at all.
better with a shovel than I am with the plants themselves, you know.
You know,
Maybe if I read a few books on it.
there is a light that is immediately lit in Sola's eyes at that. Are you sure that you want to say that to me?
I just do something I'm gonna regret.
It depends on how much you actually want to read about plants.
Say I do want to read about plants.
I would ask you which continent you want to start on.
Which one are we on right now?
Avestan.
Yeah, it's just she's joking.
Oh, sorry.
And Sola just kind of smiles. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I can pull something from my shells. Avestan, flora and fauna for yeah, the uninformed, yes? There's a teasing smirk.
Yeah, the one for dummies. Maybe we can do a little flower picking around Thistletop.
Pat on the shoulder. Yeah. I have finished my chores for the day. She just kind of like looks to Sibyl expectantly. Is there anywhere that you need to go first?
I didn't really have plans for the day. Just had some weird dreams. Woke up late. Went to talk to the old man. Saw you. Here we are.
Going with the flow now?
Sorry, I cut out a bit there.
Going with the flow.
Yeah, you know me.
She nods and motions towards the town. Yeah. Let us get started back in.
Yeah, I gotta check if those kids are stealing from your store again.
I have a new guard dog.
Or figured for a dog type.
Once upon a time.
That's an old dog.
You're more than welcome to meet him. Make
Well,
Matt
let's
have
go
a
on and
conversation
say
with
hi.
himself.
Yeah. Hello, me.
All
Oh my god, it's like looking in a mirror.
right. Would we like to call things there for tonight?
Yeah.
I think that seems like a good place. Amy, if you'd like, I can do the conversation with Xanthus as a text RP. You good with that?
Yeah, sure. If you want to move on to Thistletop ASAP, which I'm down for.
If you, well, how are we feeling about that? We could also do another session before Thistle if there's other stuff that people want to get to as well.
I feel like if there's a bunch of other things, but if it's just the conversation with Xanthus, I do not mind doing a text RP and then having the group meet back next session.
All right. How is everybody else feeling about it? Let's go in order. Joe, do you want to do an?
Top.
Okay.
You had
Amy.
to ask him.
Yeah. Amy is fine with the text RP. Z, do you want to do an extra session or do you want to go straight to Thistle?
How the fuck am I in the next one in this order?
Because I'm looking at this order. I'm going on my screen.
Yeah, I'm good with either.
All right. Let's
That's
vote for
indecision
either.
here.
We'll circle back. We'll circle back.
Fucking
Cody, do you have a strong inclination?
Negative.
No strong inclination. Okay. Matt?
I want adventure.
Okay. That's 2 votes for Thistle. Iris?
Thistle, please.
3 votes for Thistle. And Piper?
I crave violence.
You okay. 4 votes for Thistle. So next session will be Thistletop then. Well, getting ready and then going. So be ready for that. Should be fun. And Amy, I will set up that text RP for you. How's that sound?
Cool.
It's trauma.
I just
Gotta go
I just
get some
love
trauma.
that, like,